is Ben Hull. I'm the tennis captain for varsity boys tennis at McKay High School, and I've had asthma since I was 2 years old. Something that really intrigued me was tennis, and I joined that my sophomore year. After being on the varsity band all year, I played matches, and my asthma seemed to be doing fine. But then I got to the summer, and I put in 8 hours a day. I'm on the courts, I'm grinding it out. The following year, I noticed that there was more construction in the area, and that hindered my performance a little. Of course, there are other players within the team that have asthma, even worse than mine. I noticed that they were struggling more in practices. We run outdoors a lot. We fight hard and we go for every point. So it really spoke to me that something needed to change when I realized that I'm not the only one going through this. There are my teammates, and there are others that are affected by the construction going on. So when I learned that the construction companies use diesel to fuel their equipment, I understood the harmful effects of diesel to the air quality. Although I am a senior and I'm graduating this year as captain, I'm still concerned for their future and what it's going to be like for them with asthma and the air quality here.
My name is Giselle Lopez-Ixta. I'm currently a student at Portland State University, and I reached out to Latinos Unidos Siempre to help me measure the diesel pollution around my house. I've been living in this neighborhood for more than 10 years. It also worries me, and I know that it's affected my community because I have many friends who have asthma, and I have family members who have a variety of health problems, and one of my closest relatives had cancer. We can only assume that it's based on the environment that we're in. We live right next to Winco Foods Distribution Center, which is where trucks come in and out with different produce and things like that. My dad has been working there for about 4 years, and he takes out all the food and all the produce from the trucks. This is something that worries me because he's really close in proximity to the airs and the diesel pollution. I'm afraid to see what the health effects will be in the long run. It's not something that I wish on anyone, and it's something very unfortunate because there's no other job that my dad can take right now. It's not fair that he has to expose himself to those pollutants while at work. I wish there would be more regulations on this diesel pollution so that we don't have to worry about his health.
Mi nombre es Margarita Bautista, vivo aquí en Colonia Libertad. Tenemos 13 años viviendo aquí y ha empezado una nueva construcción ahora, todavía están en proceso. Nuestra comunidad ha sido muy tranquila, alrededor no ha habido mucho movimiento, no sabemos cómo vaya a estar en cuanto al tráfico, porque va a ser más movimiento industrial y no sabemos cómo vaya a estar.
Many people don't know that the lungs are the last organ that a baby develops. And I was born prematurely, and I ended up being born with a lot of lung defects. When I was 3 years old, I was diagnosed with asthma. I live right next to the freeway entrance ramp, and there's a ton of construction going out in where I live in, and so the doctors really wanted me to be sheltered, just be in my own bubble, just constantly be sheltered. And because of how much they didn't want me to go outside, I ended up realizing that all these trucks, a ton of machinery, construction machinery especially, they pollute a ton of diesel, and that's a huge contributor to damaging my lungs, which I didn't even know of. All this diesel that's polluting our air, it's not only affecting me, but it's affecting the workers as well. It's affecting a ton of little kids that could eventually develop asthma as well. My biggest concern is that the legislators aren't really listening to people who are being personally affected by this, people like me and many others who are developing asthma or already have asthma, and we know that there's so much pollution that our state isn't able to control. I hope that legislators are able to help create some laws, create regulations, create stuff that will help reduce pollution in our state, because Oregon is beautiful and it shouldn't be affected by diesel and all other contributors.